is Maurice Washington. I want to welcome everybody to another episode of Executive Talk. Those are here watching live, and also those are watching on Roku or listening on podcasts or whatnot. Thank you guys for being here. Today's episode is to get serious about cybercrime. Obviously, the landscape in business has changed quite a bit, and businesses are under attack, and also people are under attack a lot more frequently than we normally have been. And so, in order to talk about this topic, I have with me Rick Calloway, principal of Pacific Diversified Insurance, with me to discuss this. So let's go ahead and welcome in Rick. How you doing today, Rick?
Just great. I think we got a good show today. Cybercrime is becoming the hottest topic anywhere, from business to business. Anywhere you hear, what's up with this cybercrime stuff?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I want to go ahead and just hit everybody with the article right now, because this has bothered me, and this should set the stage for everything that we're talking about here. Let me go ahead and share the screen for everybody. For those who are listening on podcasts, this article is from Boise State .edu, and this is a cybercrime to cost the world 10.5 trillion annually by 2025. So in this article, you will learn about how much cybercrime can cost a company. Cybercrime is predicted to inflict 6 trillion USD in damages globally in 2021 and will reach 10.5 trillion USD annually by 2025, an exponentially larger amount than damage inflicted by natural disasters in a year. And so, Rick, when you hear that, I don't know what comes to you.
It's a big number, but realize that big number isn't made up of cyber attacks on huge corporations. There are a bunch of little bitty attacks on small business. If you have an email, a website, whatever, you're liable for that attack. All the way back in 2016, there was a New York Times bestseller, Lights Out, a cyber attack, a nation unprepared, surviving the aftermath. Ted Koppel reported on it and saying that America's power grid is subject to being hacked, and it's not if, it's when. So cyber attack is here.
And just to bring up a few examples, and I think everybody recognizes them. But so, for example, I have a friend of mine. She's on Facebook just recently, and this sounds like a small attack, but nonetheless, work with me on this. So she had her Facebook account hacked. They changed her profile picture, and obviously, if you get hacked, all your information is right there behind. For the hacker to actually access. There's a level of branding that comes part of this attack. For her personally, her own personal brand is under attack. She's not a business owner, but nonetheless, her credibility is online for what she's posting. Now, do you see that often here?
I hate to admit it, but I didn't get hacked, but my LinkedIn account got locked because something strange went on. Nobody got any of my information, but it took me almost a month to get it back up. And I've got a lot of information in there, contacts, posts, all of that stuff. So it can happen to anybody. Fortunately, this was just a glitch in the LinkedIn system, not a cyber attack. My son had his Facebook page hacked, and he's got a ton of stuff in there. So apparently Facebook must be vulnerable to attack. Somebody has figured out a way to get in there, and they're sending out posts. People think they're getting a post from one of their friends. They're getting a post from some guy sitting behind a computer in Russia.
That's it, or anywhere at this stage. I mean, right. And that's the thing about technology. In a lot of our shows that we discuss here, Rick, technology has become much more than convenience. It has become a dependency for us. And I feel like I feel like cybercrime is almost a business in and of itself. Am I tracking that correctly?
It is a business. I mean, why should I go to work and do real work and raise money when I can sit in my little office and hack into your business, steal information, steal money, send out a bunch of emails and get somebody to click on it? It is a business.
So
it's
true.
Obviously getting bigger based on the numbers we're looking at.
So let me go ahead and talk about that a little bit deeper, because we're talking about the reasons for cyber crimes, and the saying cybersecurity for businesses. And it says, why do cyber attacks happen? I think that everybody will find this very intriguing. So business financial details, customer financial details, sensitive personal data, customers or staff email addresses and login credentials, let's see, customer databases, client lists, IT infrastructure, IT services. Now, here is some of the insiders, which kind of baffle me in this article. So, if you have a business owner, you're talking about some of the insider attacks. So, trusted employees accidentally misplacing information, careless employees remiss of policies and procedures, and also disgruntled employees and ex-employees intent on damaging your business, malicious insiders with legitimate access to critical systems and information. Now, so that's insiders. Now, let me take you guys to outsiders. Organized criminals or criminal groups, professional hackers, whether malicious or not, and amateur hackers, sometimes known as script kiddles, or I'm sorry, script kiddies. So, Rick, if you hear that information, I mean, how does that jive with you?
Yep, all of those things are, all of the reasons are exactly what they are. They're trying to get something that they can make money off of, except for the disgruntled employee may hurt your business by shutting you down. I don't have my computer, I can't work. The script kiddies, watch the reports. Guess when those attacks start increasing? Oh, Christmas when they're out of school. Oh,
That's right.
summertime when they're out of school. That piece goes down, and that's just kids getting in there and messing with your systems. They're trying to get in there, and they're more malicious attacks rather than trying to steal something. They want to see if they can. It's a challenge. They want to see if they can get in there and do it. And unfortunately, they're smarter than I am, and they get in there.
That's true. And that whole thing with employees. So let's talk about that for a minute because I feel like small business owners are under the impression that they're not, people are not going to come for them. There's nothing of worth or value there. I'm just a small business owner. I think, you know, just because I have two employees, nothing's going to happen. Well, that article just said disgruntled employees. So you're still exposed as a small business owner just with your personnel.
Is small business owners probably more unprepared or more attack prone? Because if I've got to hack into Amazon to steal all their information, that takes a long time because they've got a lot of security. Yeah, when I get in there, I'll make a lot of dollars, but I can sit and hack into 50 small businesses and get $1,000, $500 each in a whole lot less time and for a whole lot less work. So small business are much more vulnerable because the hackers realize that small business doesn't have an IT guy checking all their stuff and paying attention to the stuff. And in a small firm with 2 or 3 employees, you trust everybody. You assume everybody's doing what they're supposed to do for the security. And as a small business owner, unless you deal with computers, you don't know what the hell you're doing, protecting yourself or not. But you go, I don't got to worry about it. I don't need an IT guy to help this. I can fix it myself. And you're a business owner running a business. You don't have time to go in there and fool with computers. You need somebody to take care of it for you, and you need to be prepared. And obviously, I'm in the insurance business. If you can't fix it, you better have that insurance to take care of those costs.
That's right. That's right. So, okay. So that's that small business owner. So let's talk about your larger businesses. And typically with your larger businesses, we have the hybrid workspace environment now, where obviously you have the opportunity to go into the office and work, plug into their system, plug into their network, where it's generally more secure because there's a budget set in place for IT security. But then you have the hybrid workspace where you're going to go to, I don't know, Panera Bread over here in Colorado. That's one of my favorite spots. So I'll go over there and use a computer every now and then. But now there's an access point there. And I want to go ahead and read this article for everybody here. It says that why the hybrid workplace creates risk. With employees splitting time between the office and offsite location, they're constantly moving in and out of company network. When they're operating outside the office, they oftentimes exercise lax security, for instance, using work laptops on public networks where they may get exposed to malware, which in return they may bring into the corporate network where they can return to the workplace and log back into the network or corporate network. So, Rick, have you seen that often?
How often do you see somebody like a Panera Bread or right here, Pete's Coffee? They're in there working away on their laptop. That's what's called a public network. So if I can connect to it, you can connect to it. So I can, if I knew how to do it, I could move around and get to your computer, and I can either steal information or put a piece of malware in there or ransomware in there. When you connect to the home office network, bingo, you just drag that piece of information into the network. Cyber security sounds real technical, and you got to have technical people, and then hacking. The biggest cause of cyber breaches are us, human beings. We click on a link we're not supposed to click on.
That's right. That's right. And that is true. I mean, because when you go to these open spots, when you're trying to do your hybrid workspace and just stop off and do some emails before you get home where it might be a little bit noisy, you're going to do that. But those are open secure networks. And typically, all you're looking for is that convenience of getting on their network, doing your work for a little bit, grabbing some coffee or whatnot, and then going home. But just for that access point of the internet, we forget to take those risks and actually pay attention to those risks that we're exposed to by joining an open network. So it's very easy.
There's a new product out. I just saw it advertised yesterday or the day before. I haven't had a chance to really look into it yet, but it allows you to establish your own VPN or private network. So you're on the public network of Panera Bread. This thing creates a tunnel, so you're communicating one-to-one with wherever you're going. You're not getting all this feedback in from the sides. So that's a new product, and that's probably going to be helpful. When I do work from my office, I go in through a VPN. So there's a direct communication, and I think that's going to become a popular product, and IT companies are going to be promoting that all over the place. You have to, if you can keep people from getting in there by just being out in the world, that's a big plus.
Yes. All right. Yeah, we'll have to make note of that. Make sure people have access to that information. Thank you for sharing that. And so, since we're talking about security threats, let's talk about some of the top 5 ones out here. I have this article for us as normal, and this blog is coming from expertinsights.com. So the top 5 biggest cybersecurity threats that small businesses face and how to stop them. And so we got phishing attacks, we have malware attacks, ransomware, and then we have weak passwords and also insider threats, as we discussed. So talk to me a little bit here about ransomware, Rick. Have you seen a lot of businesses with business insurance run into this?
Knock on wood, none of my clients have been ransomware yet. Fortunately, I have good IT people that I refer in to take care of that stuff. But again, it's the small business that gets hit with that. The ransomware gets in your system, locks your files, and you're out of business. I need that stuff up. Imagine how quickly they're going to jump on the problem if a hospital gets hacked and has ransomware on it. Are they going to pay that ransomware right away? Are they going to because they need patient files. The ransomware is, they're holding you for ransom, and it's going to be pretty vicious depending on your business. If you're a business that happens to have everything backed up and not attached to your network, you can restore it and you don't have a problem. But then, it's interesting. These people that do ransomware, I guess they're honest or moral. They say, hey, pay me $500 and I'll give you your network back. First thing that comes to mind is, I give them the $500, I'm never going to see them again. But they give the network back and never hit you again. I guess they've learned as part of their business model, since it's now a business, that if we tell you we'll give you the network back, pay the money, because otherwise someone else is going to get ransomware and go, well, I'm no use paying these guys. I'm not going to get this stuff back, so I better figure out a way to do it. So they realize when attacking small businesses, just hit them, go on to the next one, and keep the money coming.
And that's one of those things that, again, were the difference between a large and small business owner, the thought process. The small business owner is not realizing that just the $500 constantly over and over again is where, cybercrime, that's what their projection is. That's how they're building their revenue.
Sure.
And I feel like the small business owner is going to look at the big business and say, okay, well, you're probably hold them for ransom for $200,000. You don't want to deal with me. But it's just, there's still, well, the moral of the story here is that either way, it's a specific crime depending on the size of the business.
It's a specific crime, and it's a business. They don't go out there one day and decide, oh, I'm going to hack into a couple of computers just for fun and collect some money. They've figured out their strategy that I can get into this type of business. I can get into relatively easily, and I've got a bunch of people that click a link like they're not supposed to do, and the ransomware is sitting there, and you get the screen that says your files are locked. Please click on this link to pay us ransom. And they also now do it cryptocurrency. So it's
Yes, that's right.
untraceable.
Yeah.
So you got then you got to go to the trouble to get a crypto account, figure out how to get the money into the crypto account so you can pay the ransomware guy. So
Yes, they are. Yes, that's right. Crypto is a big one. That is very true.
untraceable.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Huh. Yeah, I forgot about that. Thanks for the reminder. So anyway, so I don't get sidetracked, I wanted to go ahead and bring up an example because he brought up 5 examples, and one of those examples is phishing emails, and as far as an attack is concerned. So for those listening here on podcast, it's this a Netflix account saying payments at Netflix help or -help.com. So tell me what's wrong with this, Rick, and explain to everybody how this works.
First of all, a phishing attack is an email that is sent to you that says you've got to change your account password. We need you to update your credit card information, etc. And if you look real carefully, you look at this quickly, it says payments at Netflix -help. Well, that looks good, but look real carefully. It's NETFIIX. That's obviously not Netflix. And whenever you get an email about give me your credit card information or change this or change that, verify from another source. A bank will never send you an email that says you've got to change your password. They already have it.
Yeah.
Nobody, I'll get an email from, I've got a bunch of things that I pay online, and every once in a while, credit card expires, and you don't change it. And I'll get an email from a company that says, hey, we need to update your credit card information. But I won't click the link on email that comes in. I'll go to my account and verify that this is actually true. So word to the wise, don't click on links that tell you to go here and change this or change that. If you know you have an account with Amazon or Audible or any of those people that you pay things automatically online, go into your account, look at the account, look at your credit card, say, hey, this is right, or go in there and click update and it says, hey, you're good. Do not click on links to change these things. The biggest issue in cybercrime is people. We click on things that we're not supposed to do.
That's it. And I'm glad you brought up that example because you're utilizing trusted sources, something that you're currently doing, which is you have an account with them already.
Correct.
So it's very easy to say, oh yeah, I forgot my expired card is up. Let me go ahead and just renew that. I forgot all about it. Let me just go ahead and handle that. Well, next thing you know, it's just that one character that's off. It's that who it's from. It's like this weird account, this weird person, and you're not paying attention just because, again, convenience has overridden our I don't know, our insight, if you will, and it just makes us just kind of just act. And so we've become so numb to convenience that things are trickling in, and then you have your phishing attack.
And they know with credit cards, they'll just go in and take small amounts multiple times because they know if they go in there and go for $1,000 or whatever the number is. Fraud people at the credit card company go, this is weird. Somebody logged into your account from Tijuana and is trying to buy something. I mean, if you travel very much, I used to travel. If I forget to tell the credit card company, hey, I'm going to Arizona today, I try to make a charge there and it's declined. And I go, why the hell is it declined? I go, oh, I forgot to tell them that I'm out of the state. So they automatically flagged it. So credit card companies, banks, all those types of people are trying to protect you on their end as well. It's very annoying sometimes when you're sitting with a client, your credit card gets declined, but figure out why.
That's right. Also in that article, let me bring this up just to make sure that we clear this, but they talked about passwords. And let me go ahead and give an example here. Go ahead. Actually, I want you to explain this and how this shows up.
Okay, you want a strong password. The password that's password 1234 probably isn't a good idea because hackers try those right away. On the other side, you have to be able to remember the password. You create some weird thing, you're never going to remember it. So pick a phrase. I used
Actually,
to
bring that
use
example back up so they can
pick
see
a
it.
phrase. Like if you look at the bottom, crazy hackers can't guess my password 1510 anymore. So you use those letters and you can remember that and use it. And the first one is pretty interesting. I've never used this one, but you use a bunch of different items. You pick an animal, like an antelope. And then instead of everybody capitalizes the first letter in their passwords because it's easiest, but capitalize the second or third letter instead. And then another part of the password is, well, how many letters are in antelope? 8. So that 8's in there. How many vowels? 4. That's another part of the password. And then you put in, a dollar sign, a slash sign, or any of those things. Anything that is you can remember and is not common. Like I said, everybody used to do password 1 2 3 4. Try not to use the same password multiple times on multiple accounts. I'm guilty of that. I've got 1,500 some odd websites that I go to that I have to log into. I actually have a password manager that that keeps my passwords in there, and it's never been hacked. I've never seen any stories of these password things being hacked. But be careful where you get the password at. It might be a hacker that set up a website for you to download a password protector, and it works just fine, except for the fact that it's sending the passwords, off to someone else.
That's it. And let's reiterate to the people that are watching here. Let's be very, very clear. Because we're at convenience, that means that you have an account at Amazon, you have an account at Kohl's, you have an account over here, you have an account over here, you have 20,000. So even if you're not a business owner, you have a ton of accounts open. And so the tendency to want to repeat your password is there because that's just as convenient as going to shop online.
Yep.
And so if we consider that, this is where we get lazy with our passwords. And this is how, even again, the hackers understand that habit of folks, and that's where things tend to happen.
You have to, and you got to change it every now and then. I don't agree with. It was Microsoft put out a paper said, "Oh, you got to change it every month." I think that's a little much because
Yeah,
then you'll forget the damn thing, and then you're locked out of your accounts. And
that's
let's see,
right.
I'm going to keep all my passwords. I'm going to write them down on this piece of paper and sit them on my desk. Janitor walks by, picks up your notebook. Oh, guess what? He's got a whole bunch of new passwords. So the changing it every month, I do not. It's recommended by the experts, but I apply that old term common sense. If I change this thing once a month, I'm never going to remember what the hell it is. And I
That's
don't
right.
want to write it down and leave it sitting out for someone. So change it maybe every 6 months, every quarter. I think that would be ample.
Okay.
And have all the software, have the softwares installed on the computer that scans for ransomware, malware, and all those kinds of things. And I can't emphasize enough, and I'll probably say it 100 more times. Do not click on links to take you somewhere to some account. Go to that actual website and look at what they're asking for. If you don't recognize an email that's sent to you, don't click on it. I mean, I get emails that say, whatever the title is, but they've got a link and nothing else. And I know exactly what it is. It's a phishing link. They're trying to get information. These hackers aren't silly. How much does it cost to send out thousands of emails? Probably not a whole lot. So they can send
That's
out
right.
thousands of these, and they only need to get one person to click on it. We have a program that we run that sends out, I think it's quarterly. I don't know how often it goes out anymore. It sends out a bogus phishing attack to get you to click on a link. And then you go, okay, go talk to so and so and so and so and so and so. They did it again. They clicked on the link. That's invariably the same people over and over again. I mean, it's education. To prevent cyber attack, obviously you have to have the fancy IT stuff, but you have to educate staff.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Don't let them in the front door. Make them find a way in the back door.
I know that's right. Well, then I'm glad you brought that up because we do need some solutions, and I'm going to go ahead and share this article with everybody. Let's see what they have and see what you agree upon. This is from ambroker.com. So with here, they are suggesting that we have, this thing got way more involved. And so just like you were saying, So yeah, this is good, because with between the breaches and everything that's going on, and we're going to come back to that here in a minute. Because um, what do you suggest? And I feel like that's actually the most important value. Forget what they're talking about, because I know you have a suggestion.
Well, obviously, I would like you all to purchase a cyber policy because no matter how good you are about doing stuff, stuff happens. Just like you buy auto insurance, but you never plan on crashing, but it happens. So buy a good policy. Definitely work with a broker that understands them because they're changing. The breach coverage is very important if you're like a retail person or something like that, because you do business on the internet, you do it in all 50 states. Every state has a different rule and regulation on how you have to notify the client of what you have to do if their information has been compromised. I don't know about you or any of our viewers. I don't have time to read every single one of those rules and regulations and figure it out. That would cost me more money than saying
Yeah,
the heck with it, as opposed to paying an insurance premium of anywhere, well, depending on the size of your company, $2,000 to hundreds of thousands of dollars. But then they have to handle all that notification stuff. That's one of the more costly parts of this whole thing. Obviously, ransomware, if they get a lot of money, that's a lot, but notification is expensive.
yeah. And so also, I feel like this is one, and this is where this article is finally showing up. That it says develop a breach response plan. How many companies do you know are developing that breach response plan?
Personally, I don't know exactly how many are doing it, but I know how many should do it. Everyone, but it's how, and having a good cyber policy helps with that because they have folks that, okay, if you have a breach, we have to look at how we're going to get your system back up online, how we're going to notify people. Oh, how has that damaged your company name? You've
That's
got
right.
a media, a PR portion that has to be dealt with. Yeah, you notify the people, you notify this, and a bunch of people are going, I'm never doing business again with those people. They don't take care of my data. So
That's right.
things that you don't think of are affected by an attack on your system. You think, well, if they hack my system, I got to get my system up online. Yeah, that's one piece. Then you got two or three more pieces that have to be dealt with. Oh, and then what happens when you go on someone's site and because of your computer, you crash their system and they're out of business? Guess who they're going to come after? Hey, you owe me. I just lost however much money.
That's
Guess
right.
what? I don't know any attorneys that work for free. So you better have an insurance policy to pay that premium.
Yep. Final thoughts here, Rick, and I'm going to leave us off with a couple of thoughts. What do
Final
you have
thoughts
first?
are take care of your system. Have an IT company. If you're a really small company, there's plenty of folks that'll do it. Have your inspected annually, quarterly, or whatever, as much as they think is appropriate. It's an expense you need. Train your people. Educate, educate, educate. Do not click on links. I mean, I feel like putting that on my headline. Do not click on links. And call me and buy a cyber policy so you're taken care of.
End of story. For business owners, for everybody out here, as a matter of fact, this is the SWOT analysis moment in time. We went from your business is a strength when it's operating and it's moving forward and everything is going the direction that you're looking for. Even if you have some weaknesses or opportunities, at least it's still in an area where strength can be at its all-time high. This is one of those threats that we're talking about. This is why we're talking about. This is why the topic is get serious about cybercrime, because this is a straight out threat, and it can change all that strength, all that opportunity that you developed, and really shift gears on you. Your business is a creation, as we all know. And so when you have threats and you're aware of these threats, take precaution. I know we are, and we have changed to a more convenient society, but that doesn't, but the more convenient we get, the more lax we get. Get serious. Think about these things. Think about these passwords. Think about this data response plan. Think about hiring a CMIT solutions company or whatever, what have you. Get your business insurance as well, and stay on top of these things, because things are, as we started off, it's coming into a $10.5 trillion industry. Rick had talked about cryptocurrency at one point. These are all things that are happening in real time, and things are changing beyond us. And so instead of waiting for things to happen, let's get more in tune with things and stay on top of our stuff, business owners, so that way we can keep on serving our clients that we are helping, and also make sure our employees have a place to go to. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Those are Roku podcasts, whatnot. Just thank you guys for being here. But Rick and I, we actually have to get back to work. We'll see you next time.